I'm Marissa Melton. Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro said his country will accept aid from G7 countries to battle wildfires in the Amazon rainforest, only if French President Emmanuel Macron retracts what Bolsonaro considers offensive remarks. Macron has questioned Bolsonaro's honesty and commitment to protecting the environment. Last week, Macron threatened to block a free trade deal between Latin America and the European Union unless the Brazilian president took serious steps to fight the Amazon fires. On Monday, Bolsonaro said the money could be better used to reforest Europe. World leaders at the G7 summit on Monday committed an immediate $20 million to fight the raging wildfires threatening the world's biggest rainforest. Iranian President Hassan Rouhani says if U.S. President Donald Trump wants to hold talks, he must take the first step and lift all sanctions imposed against Iran. AP's Charles De Ledesma has more.
Hassan Rouhani says Trump must first lift sanctions imposed on Tehran. Otherwise, a meeting between the two would be a mere photo op. Rouhani's change of position comes after the president said on Monday there's a really good chance the two could meet on their nuclear impasse. The comment followed a surprise intervention by French President Emmanuel Macron during the G7 meeting to try to bring Washington and Tehran together after decades of conflict. Rouhani says, still with sanctions, there will not be any positive development. I'm Charles De Ledesma.
President Trump is fuming over mainstream U.S. news coverage of his attendance at the G7 in France over the weekend. Much of the news coverage of the U.S. president at the summit has been unflattering, spotlighting misstatements, gaffes, and lack of cooperation with other world leaders. But Trump declared Tuesday morning on Twitter that those reports were fake news that bore no relationship to the summit's events. He called the summit great. This is VOA News. Hong Kong's chief executive Carrie Lam has urged rioters calling for her resignation to stop committing violent acts.
The question of resignation has also been answered. I think a responsible chief executive at this point in time should continue to hold the fort and do her utmost to restore law and order in Hong Kong.
At a press conference, she said that the region's government will resort to lawful measures to restore social order. Over the weekend, violent demonstrators hurled explosives and bricks at security forces.
And I wouldn't say that my government has lost control. Day in, day out, we are not only supporting the law enforcement bodies, we are also acting responsibly to deal with other issues.
China voiced strong dissatisfaction Tuesday with a joint statement by G7 leaders calling for Hong Kong's autonomy, in line with Britain's handover of control of the territory to Beijing. The leaders of the industrialized nations at their just-completed summit called for calm in the wake of 12 weeks of pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong, but Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Geng Shuang accused them of meddling and harboring evil intentions. The UN's refugee agency estimates around 40 people are dead or missing off the coast of Libya in the latest wreck of a boat carrying migrants bound for Europe. Reuters' David Doyle reports.
The UN's refugee agency estimates that around 40 people are missing or dead in the latest wreck of a boat carrying migrants bound for Europe. Libya's Coast Guard says the bodies of 5 migrants have been recovered, while 65 were rescued about 9 miles off the coast of the city of Coms. 3 of the dead were from Morocco, 1 from Sudan, and 1 from Somalia. The UNHCR said most of the survivors were from Sudan, with others from Egypt, Morocco, and Tunisia. Unseaworthy vessels overloaded with migrants regularly capsize off Libya. Last week, more than 100 people died, and a boat with around 250 on board capsized last month.
That's Reuters' David Doyle reporting. A Chinese-Australian writer and dissident who's been detained in his native China since January has been formally arrested now on suspicion of espionage. A spokesman for China's foreign ministry says Yang Hengjun was formally charged last Friday. And Tropical Storm Dorian has moved into the Caribbean Sea. It's bringing heavy rains and winds with it. The U.S. National Hurricane Center said Dorian could reach hurricane status by the time it reaches Puerto Rico, Haiti, and the Dominican Republic on Wednesday. The area is still reeling from 2017's Hurricane Maria, which left many Puerto Ricans without power for months and killed nearly 3,000 people. I'm Marissa Melton. You're listening to VOA News.